Hi guys, this is a video to show you some of the most common tools in Final Cut in case you forget and you need to refer back to this video. So first, right now I have my library open. If you see another student's library open, you would just click on the library icon and click File, Close Library. Okay. And then you can open up your library. So I'm going to open up the About Me Chilton Library. Okay. And I'm going to add an event. So you probably have already done this. I'm just going to label it About Me Chilton. And that's my event. That's where all my footage goes. That's the event bin. But I don't have a project set up yet. So your project is your timeline. So I'm going to click File, New Project, and label that About Me Chilton. And click OK. Okay, now you'll see that you have the project icon up here. It looks like a little slate, and you have a fresh timeline on the bottom. Okay. For those of you who are working in another video project and you want to start a new event and project, you would do that the same way. You would click File, New Event, and then File, New Project, and you'll have a new place for new video footage and new timeline. Okay, so I'm going to put my pictures in here that I had already downloaded from the Google Doc by clicking Finder and Downloads. Double click where my images folder was. Just going to drag this over. And now I have pictures ready to start editing. For pictures, it defaults to 4 seconds. So if you click it once, it highlights it yellow, and you can see by moving the cursor over that yellow box, it changes from the arrow to the hand symbol. From the hand symbol, if you hold down the left corner of the trackpad, you can drag and drop this picture down to the timeline. I'm going to drop it right there. You'll notice that another window pops up. You should, at this point, just click OK. It is just a default window to set the properties. So I'm going to click OK there. And I'm going to continue to drag and drop pictures onto my timeline. If you hold the button down over the picture, you'll see that you can extend your picture longer than the 4 seconds, but I would leave it as a default to 4 seconds. You can change the duration on your timeline. One tool that's important to use is the viewer, and that's over here. So if you click that, you'll get a magnifying glass icon, and you can scroll it to the right to zoom it in so you can see your pictures better on the timeline, or scroll it to the left so that you can have more room on your timeline to add more pictures. So I'm going to put it about right there in the middle. I'm going to come back and click on my timeline here. To scroll around your timeline, you could click from the little triangle on the cursor bar, and now I can drag it to whichever picture I want to work with. Okay. So right now I have 6 pictures on my timeline, and I'm going to add some of the requirements that I had asked you to do in our video projects. So the first thing I'm going to do is add lower third texts. To add lower third texts, I'm going to choose the picture I want to highlight. And for this, I'm going to highlight the food picture. Click it. Make sure my cursor bar is over that picture. And then I'm going to go bring my cursor arrow up to where it says T. for text. Yours might be closed, so you would click on the arrow to open up titles and click lower thirds. You can choose any one of these, but I like this one. It has a built-in background and I can see it better over any picture that I choose usually. So I'm going to click that and drag and drop it, make a new layer over my picture. So I dropped it there, bring the cursor bar back over to the middle of it, and I can see what it looks like over my picture. And now I'm going to change the text from that. So I'll double click where it says name, and I'm going to type buffalo wings. And then for the description, I'm going to type favorite food. Okay. And click back here, and you'll see what it looks like. You can hit the play button up here, and it'll start playing. Or you could hit the space bar, and that will also start and stop your playing of the timeline. The next tool I want to show you is the transitions tool. Transitions tool is over here, the far right. You click it and highlight it purple. It activates all the transitions that are available to you. Cross dissolve is a popular one, but you can look at any of the transitions that Final Cut has available. I'm going to go back to the cross dissolve, and I'm going to put that in between a couple of my pictures. So I'm going to highlight it, click and drag it over in between these two pictures. So now I have a transition in between this picture and in between this picture. And this is what it looks like. Okay. So you can take a look at any of these and you could drag and drop them onto the timeline and just have some fun in between pictures here. And this is what it looks like. I'll bring my cursor bar back to the beginning, hit play. And as it hits the transition, you'll see what it looks like. Okay. You can always change it or delete it by clicking on the transition and just tapping the delete button in your computer. Okay, so you can choose a different one. The next tool I want to show you how to use is the music tool. So up here where it has the music icon, you would click that and sound effects. Okay, and yours might show no effects, or it might already be in jingles. So depending on what you have already selected up here, you can click up there and click jingles. That will give you a number of music riffs that you can drag and drop onto your timeline. You can sample them by just clicking the play button, or you can just randomly find one that you like and drag and drop it onto your timeline. So you would highlight the music riff you like, click and drag it down, and you'll drop it right underneath your pictures. Okay. From there, I'm going to drag my cursor bar to the end of my pictures, and I want to cut off the rest of the music that's on here. There's two ways to do that. You can scroll to the very end, use the brackets and drag this back. Okay. I would just do it slowly so it doesn't go too fast. So I can drag it all the way back to where my picture ends. Another way to do this would be bring your cursor bar to the end of your pictures, click another toolbar right here and click the blade, or yours might have a cut scissors symbol. You would click that. It gives you either the scissors or the blade. Bring it down onto the music part and then click that. Go back here, click the arrow, highlight the part you want to delete, and just tap delete on your keyboard. I can delete this part as well. Okay, so now my music is there. There is a fade out button. If you hover over with your cursor just to this little teardrop, you'll see a teardrop appear and you'll see horizontal triangles. Once you get the horizontal triangles, you can click and drag to your left, and you'll see, it's very hard to see, but it's a light, gradual line that diminishes to your end of your picture. And it would sound like this for when the fade starts. And it just fades right out. Okay. You can also fade in the beginning of a music track. By doing that, you get the horizontal arrows. And you can drag it this way, and you'll see that you have a curved line, and then will sound like this. So it's a little gradual fade in on the music. The next tool I want to show you is the Ken Burns effect. So I'm going to go back to the library. I'm going to click my picture, drag the cursor bar over to the middle of it. And from here, I'm going to go up to the crop tool. So there are 3 tools here: transform, crop, and distort. Make sure you're on crop. It'll highlight it purple, and then you could click Ken Burns. Ken Burns has 2 boxes that appear over your picture, a green one and a red one. The green one is where your picture will start with its motion, and the red one is where it will end. So if, for example, if I wanted this picture to start full screen, I can make it full screen, and I want it to end, whoops, if that happens, just bring your cursor back over to the middle. I want it to end right where it says hope. So it looks like it keeps jumping to the transition, but there it goes. Okay, so now I can move this, I can move it all around, but I'm just going to center it there. So it's going to start full screen, and it's going to appear like it zooms in to the middle of the screen. So you would just click done, bring your cursor back, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can notice it puts motion on the different pictures. So I'll show you one more. Click the picture, click crop, Ken Burns. And if you want to leave it as the default, you can. So this one is going to give that same effect, but maybe I want to make it a little bit different. Maybe I want to highlight this part of the picture, but maybe I want to start with that part of the picture. So I'm going to reverse this by using this little reverse tool. And now this is green, so it's going to start there, and then it's going to zoom out to the bigger part of the picture. So I'll bring this back. You can hit the space bar to play. Okay, and that puts some motion right on there. The last tool I want to show you is the text full screen tools for titles and credits. So this build in and out section, you would click on T first for the text, build in and out. The most basic one that is called the centered, you could use that, or you could use any of these other fancy ones, but I'm going to show you how to use this one. So you would highlight it, click and drag it down to the beginning of your timeline, and hold it until everything else moves down to the right, and then drop it. So I'm going to drag my cursor bar back to the middle of this title. I'm going to double click where it says title, and then I'm going to title this one About Me and subtitle with my name. Okay, and now this is what this looks like. And it's going to go right into my video. And I'm going to do that for the end credits too. I'm going to use a different one. I think I'll just use this. And I'm going to drag this one down and just drop it at the end of my video. And for the About Me project, I asked you to create a hashtag. I'm going to put hashtag 2021 back in business. Okay. You can go fancier, hit delete if you want to use some of the other tools that are part of the text section. There is a credit roll in here. For this one, you could drag and drop it down. But to change the fonts on this one, it has a built-in format. So you would just have to retype that and erase some of the other parts of the format here. So I could write, see how it jumped to the left there? I could put my name here, and then for description, I could like erase that. And then I would have to erase, highlight and delete the rest that's there. But I don't really care for this credit part in Final Cut. So I usually use a different one. But there's some fancier ones that look like a movie. You could use this one as well. Okay. And those are the tools that I believe you know so far. I will show you one more thing, and that's how to export your video. So now that you have everything on your video that you need as far as the requirements, you would go up to where it says File and Share, click Share, and over and down to, for our purposes, 720p. Okay. And then at this screen, you're just going to click Share. Okay. And then go back up to the top tab and click the circle. This is going to give you a percentage bar of it coming out of Final Cut, and it lands into a different section on the Mac. So it's almost up to 100% now. So it doesn't usually take too long. It compresses the video a little bit. And you'll see a notification that comes down the right-hand side that says either share successful or share failed. Hopefully it says successful, and you can click close. You can X out of this window by clicking the red X. And then you could close your library at this point. So I'm going to go up to File, Close Library. And then I'm going to quit Final Cut by clicking on the words Final Cut and quit Final Cut. Okay, now you're ready to upload your video to your Google Drive. So first you want to click on the waffle and then click Drive. And then here you're going to click New, File Upload, and then scroll the sidebar down till you see Movies. Click Movies, and yours should say Music, and you should see Home Videos, or it'll just say Music, and your video should be landed there. So you would click your video, highlight it, and click Open. And now that video is starting to upload to your Google Drive. Last thing you need to do is to turn your project video in. navigate to where you would turn in your video, click View Assignment, then click Add or Create, and click on your Google Drive, and your video should show in your drive if that is where you put it. It should come right up to the top there. And you would click that, and then click Insert. And then click Turn In, and turn in again. And now you are all done.